We thought we had seen everything in the first episode, but the world still hides secrets that continue to defy science, from entire towns that vanish without a trace to lights that move through the sky with a mind of their own. These aren't myths. They're real documented events that no one has been able to explain. Get ready, because what you're about to see might change everything you think you know about reality. Number 5. The Crystal Skulls. Strange skulls carved entirely from quartz crystal have been discovered in different parts of the world, from Mexico to Belize. Each one appears identical, polished with a level of perfection that even modern technology struggles to replicate. Some show microscopic cuts that, according to experts, could only be made with diamond tools or lasers. Tools that obviously didn't exist centuries ago. The mystery deepens when analyses reveal that many were sculpted against the natural grain of the crystal, something that should have made them shatter under the slightest pressure. Yet they remain intact. Researchers at the British Museum attempted to reproduce one, failing again and again. The Maya spoke of 13 sacred skulls that held the memory of humanity, and that once reunited, they would reveal the origin of the world. Some believe each skull is connected to a lost civilization, Egypt, Atlantis, the Maya, the Inca, but none show tool marks or signs of manual carving. Even more unsettling, people who have owned them claim to feel a strange energy when touching them, vertigo, heat, or even whispering voices. Are they simple relics carved by unknown hands, or fragments of a knowledge history chose to erase? Because when light passes through the crystal and seems to move inside it, the line between object and consciousness becomes dangerously blurred. Number 4. The Franklin Expedition. In 1845, two British ships, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, set sail for the Arctic on a mission to discover the Northwest Passage, the route that would connect the Atlantic with the Pacific. On board were 129 men led by Captain John Franklin, a Royal Navy hero convinced he would conquer the impossible. But the pride of the empire vanished into the ice and never returned. For years, England sent expeditions without finding a single trace. Decades later, the Inuit told stories of trapped ships and wandering men walking aimlessly, desperate, consumed by hunger and madness. When the remains were finally found, the bodies showed strange fractures, signs of cannibalism, and in the recovered journals, a sentence that chilled investigators to the bone. The ice has defeated us. More than a century later, in 2014 and 2016, both ships were found almost perfectly preserved beneath the ice. Their cabins sealed, instruments still in place, their hulls conserved as if time itself had stopped. Scientists blame lead poisoning and the extreme cold, but the Inuit speak of bright lights moving over the ice and figures watching from the darkness. No one knows what happened in the crew's final days. Only that, even now, sensors detect anomalous magnetic signals near the frozen hulls, as if something invisible still lingers with them in the Arctic depths. Before we continue, if you enjoy real mysteries like these, make sure to subscribe. New episodes are on the way, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 3. Lake Anjikuni. In 1930, a hunter named Joe LaBelle arrived exhausted at a small Inuit settlement on the shores of Lake Anjikuni in northern Canada. It was a quiet community of fishermen and hunters, accustomed to the silence of the Arctic. But that day, something was wrong. The entire village was empty. The houses were still standing, rifles resting against the walls, pots over the fire, and food served. There were no signs of struggle or escape. Even the sled dogs lay frozen, still tied up, as if they had been abandoned overnight. LaBelle alerted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who days later confirmed the impossible. Every inhabitant had vanished without leaving a single footprint in the snow. The graves in the small cemetery had been opened, and the bodies inside removed. There were no clues, no travel tracks, no stolen belongings. Only the absolute silence of a village that seemed to have evaporated. For decades, authorities dismissed the story as a mistake or exaggeration by LaBelle. But records from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police confirm that an official investigation did take place. Some later witnesses claimed to have seen bright lights hovering above the lake, moving slowly, as if searching for something beneath the ice. To this day, no one has been able to explain what happened to that lost village, nor how an entire community could disappear without a trace, nor why the lake still emits strange vibrations every winter, just when the nights are longest. Number 2. The Hessdalen Lights. In a remote valley in Norway called Hessdalen, residents have been witnessing a phenomenon for more than 40 years that science still cannot explain. Lights that float in the sky, change color, and move without making a single sound. Sometimes they appear as golden spheres. Other times, bluish flashes crossing the valley at impossible speeds, stopping abruptly as if they were thinking. In the 1980s, the sightings became so frequent that the Norwegian army sent investigators. In 1983, a monitoring station was installed with radars, magnetometers, and thermal cameras. The lights appeared right in front of them and were recorded, but none of the instruments could identify their origin. They were not meteors, not aircraft, not electrical discharges. They seemed to move with a will of their own, following impossible trajectories. Some scientists suggest they may be chemical reactions in the ground, but that theory does not explain their intelligent-like behavior, nor why they change direction when someone approaches. Even today, the phenomenon persists. Every year, tourists, astronomers, and curious explorers arrive hoping to witness it. Authorities classify it as an unexplained aerial phenomenon, and every night, the cameras continue to capture the same spheres dancing over the valley, splitting apart and rejoining as if communicating with one another. Sometimes they vanish in an instant, leaving behind an absolute silence, a silence that seems to hold an answer no one has yet learned to hear. Number 1. The hum sound. Imagine living with a constant buzzing in your ears, a low, persistent sound that no one else seems to hear. That is the hum, a phenomenon reported in places like Taos, Bristol, and even Chile and Canada. Thousands of people describe it the same way, like a distant engine that never shuts off. But the most unsettling part, microphones can't capture it. Only the human ear can perceive it. In the 1990s, the BBC investigated the case in Bristol and discovered that only about 2% of the population could hear it. There were no electrical signals, no vibrations, no anomalous frequencies. And yet, the hum kept resonating every night, disturbing the sleep of those who heard it. Some blame industrial noise, low-frequency waves, or microseismic vibrations. But no one can explain why only certain people hear it, or why it disappears every time someone tries to record it. In Taos, some claim it comes from underground. Others speak of secret experiments or hidden transmissions. Skeptics call it collective suggestion, although neurological studies show distinct auditory patterns in those who suffer from it. To this day, there is no reliable recording of the hum. Only witnesses who swear they've felt it vibrating inside their bodies. A sound with no source, no beginning, and no end, as if something unknown were trying to speak to us from deep within the earth. We live surrounded by enigmas that science still hasn't been able to decipher. Each mystery opens a door to the unknown, and perhaps to something we're not ready to understand. The only certainty is that the world continues to hide secrets beneath the surface. If you want to keep exploring them, subscribe and join us, because the unexplainable is only just beginning to reveal itself.